Come on, YouTube. Do it, do it. Do it. Yes, okay. Seems to be massive delays from me clicking start stream to YouTube actually starting the stream. Like it misses the first 10 seconds or so. Hi everyone, good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? Can everyone see me okay? Greetings everybody. It's cold today. I should have put a jacket on. Oh, I'm tired. Sorry. Any week that I do 2 streams, like make a cast, for me was Monday morning and now Wednesday morning. So 2 early mornings in 3 days. Just wrecks me. Have no feeling till I've had my first coffee. Yeah, I'm not quite the same, but I do really enjoy my morning coffee for sure. So who have we got in the chat? We've gone back to doing this again. That's okay. I enjoy it. I like saying hi to everyone. So hello, Embedded Hobbyist, and Michael, and Adam Bryant, who we've just been chatting. Good morning. Good morning, Ian. 10,470 miles from Sion. Wow, that's a lot of miles. What's that in binary? Who knows? Hey, Tabletronics. 7 cases COVID here. Wow. Sorry, scrolling. Good morning, Mr. Andy Calloway. I hope your humour is in good form today. Hey, Death Shaker. Hello, Mike. Wow, lots of chatter in the morning when I'm not around. And then it all stops when I get here. Not really. Hey, Azzy, Boop. Hey, Crazy Roops. Hope I'm not missing anyone. Trying to get through this quickly. Good morning, Graham. Hey, John. Hello, Gadget Workbench. That's a really cool name. Hey, Andy. Another Andy. So 2 Andy. Andy Day. Andy Calloway. Hey, Helmet. Hey, Pierre. Hey, Jerry. And Leo. Hello, Leo. Hey, Harry. No, Henry. Sorry. Whoa, I need to make my font bigger. Apologise. Hi, Henry. Henry Wood. I don't know why I said Harry. And Intimate Tech. Hello. Good morning. Daylight saving time has changed. The stream is an hour later. Okay. Daylight savings changed already. Wow, that seemed quick. That seemed really quick. Hey, Station 240. Got a message from Iris yesterday. The stock from the UK to fill my order got delayed by customs. There's a lot of shipment delays I'm experiencing at the moment, both sending and receiving. Everyone's quoting a week or 2 weeks longer for delivery now, especially with post. Really frustrating. Gerald42, yes, is Jerry. Yes. Hello, Johnny. So what pins in the Arduino Pro is I2C? I don't know. I don't have an Arduino Pro. Couldn't tell you. That's a good coffee. I'm going to need more than one of those today. Hello, Electronic Smoke UK. Excellent. Lots of folks to come and see. Well, actually, I don't know what I'm doing. You're going to have to vote. What's harder, software engineering going to hardware or vice versa? I think hardware going to software is harder because unless you know how to code, picking up coding is hard, I think. And like picking up coding for embedded stuff is hard when you know, it's one thing it's hard enough to learn how to code when you don't know how to code, when you don't have a grounding in programming, but to work at the embedded level I think is even harder unless you're using something like MicroPython or CircuitPython or Rust or whatever. Like I really feel like, yeah, that's what I think. I think people can learn the basics of hardware, the basics, right, easier than they can learn coding. I feel like your brain's got to be wired for coding. Like the way, the problem solving of thinking. Like from my experience with people who learn how to code, the places they normally get really tripped up, like they can copy the syntax and they can copy and paste code, but where they really get tripped up is with logic, right? Like, if statements and switch statements, and understanding how to control the flow of the code. And I think that requires a particular way of thinking. That's my opinion anyway. I'm sure other people will have same or different. We're going to do Minecraft. Can I tell you guys, and girls if there are any, but I don't think there are, can I tell you, okay, I have to make a confession time. I've never played Minecraft ever in my life. Never had it on my computer, and I've never played Minecraft. Oi, Mr. Watts. Are you playing football? Are you walking? Are you home today? How you doing, mate? I know Minecraft is great. My kids live in Minecraft. I get all the benefits of it. I understand Minecraft at a very good level. Having been following it from early days of Mojang and stuff, but like from a games point of view. But I've never played it because I never wanted to get sucked into that whole my life disappears, days disappear playing Minecraft. I'm glad I'm not the only not Minecrafter. Yeah, I mean, I didn't play it because of any hatred or dislike towards it. It was more about my personality. I would have just got lost in it. There are plenty of games I got lost in for days and days and days. I can't remember which Final Fantasy it was that I played 7 days straight, pretty much. I think I had 1 meal a day and slept a couple of hours a night and just played Final Fantasy non-stop. Like, that's my personality. It's my ADHD, get hyper-focused on something, so there's no, like, Minecraft would have been terrible for me. No football, I gave into laziness. Oh no! The dark side! Or is that the light side? Nah, that's okay. You're allowed to take a break. Oh, Ian's never seen a Harry Potter movie. Okay, then that's unforgivable. Assembly coding is even more aptitude-based. Yeah, well, sure. Because assembly coding needs you need to understand how a processor works, right, to be able to code effectively in assembly. So that's an even harder step, I think. Wow, I'm missing a lot of chat. I'd never played it ever. Fascinates me. Wow, Azzy, that's kind of weird. You're a fanboy, but never played it. Played it must be 10 years ago now. It was a little boring after a while. Sure, it's come a long way now. But yes, it's, yeah. Anyway. I don't know, who brought Minecraft up? It wasn't me. Oh, come on, you gotta watch. I'm a fantasy, sci-fi reader and movie watcher, so for me, seeing all of the Harry Potters is a no-brainer. Like, I see every fantasy and sci-fi movie I can multiple times. Oh my gosh, really? Larry the Lounge Lizard? No way. Yeah, I used to play all of the Sierra games. Yeah, they were awesome. Yep. Yes, King's Quest and Police Quest and all of those. They were fun. Good fun. Okay, so what are we going to do in the stream today? We can't really take a vote here easily. I mean, every time I put something to a vote in the chat, it always goes pear-shaped. But well, a lot of the rings I've seen, I can't tell you how many times. Can't tell you how many times I've seen them. Have you watched The Silent Earth? I have not watched The Silent Earth. I've not heard of that. Leisure Suit Larry. Yes, Leisure Suit Larry. There was a King's Quest, Police Quest, all the King's Quests. What were the other ones? ESP32 room prelim datasheet just... Oh, S2 datasheet. Oh, that's been around for a little while, hasn't it? The room one? Or is that the Rover one's been around for a while? Hey Charles, 666. Look, it's exciting and demoralizing for me that the S2 is getting all this chatter right now, and yes, it's gone into production, mass production, but it really hasn't. It hasn't gone into mass production yet. The first round of samples went out last week. I wasn't on the list. Apparently I'm on the second list to get my samples. I've only been assigned 2 samples of the S2. Okay. I might have had that datasheet already, though. Whoop. Yeah, I've had the datasheets for a while. But that's okay, yeah. And they were very, very early drafts. So yes, the S2, it's kind of exciting. At this point in time, I'll be able to buy chips from DigiKey faster than I can get samples from Espressive, which is a shame. It's a shame. And I worked out the other day that I did my first Pro S2 board build, the red one. If I can get out of the breadboard. Hang on. One moment, please. Sorry, I was stuck in a breadboard. So I did this October the 3rd, I think it was. So 5 months ago. And still waiting for silicon, final silicon. Look, I know a lot's happened. But the silicon should have been done and to me last year, right? I mean, this is not a virus hold-up. Don't you just love NDAs? Who signed any NDAs? I didn't sign any NDAs. I just made some gentlemen, what are they? Some handshake prompt, whatever. Hang on. Silent Earth is a dimension crossing sci-fi filmed years ago in New Zealand. Okay, I'll have to look it up. I mean, I don't claim to have seen every sci-fi film like I try to, like even B-grade stuff. But yeah, I haven't seen everything. A gentleman's agreement, that's the one. I made a gentleman's agreement to keep everything I knew confidential, and I did. I think I did a great job. So that was my revision 1. I did that video back in October, the start of October. And my revision 2, which I don't know, did I ever show? I can't recall. Maybe I showed it on a stream. Like I know I did, is it even here? Right, that was my revision 2. I don't think I did a video about that. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to... So this is interesting. I'm looking forward to getting the final silicon so I can finish this board. But it's pointless. Because there's no Arduino for it. Arduino's a long way away, right? And there's no MicroPython for it. Anyway, that's a whole different story. And it'll likely be that there'll be CircuitPython before there's MicroPython for it. And so the only thing that you can do with it is IDF for a very long time, and even that is still beta. So there's no major rush to get a board out because you really can't do much with it, right? Or I mean, most people who play with ESP32s do it, like in the hobbyist space, do it with the Arduino IDE, right? I'm also thinking of abandoning this design. You heard me. I'm actually thinking of not doing this board and doing something different. How many people caught the MakerCast on Monday or Sunday night for most of you? I think there's a delay. There's a really bad delay. Triangular boards. What? I'm not making triangular boards. Who's Angry Angus? What did I miss? Missed the MakerCast. I was in Chinatown in London. Ooh, that sounds like fun. So on MakerCast the other day, a couple of days ago, yeah, I mentioned that I felt like I've fallen into the trap of designing microcontroller boards for the sake of designing microcontroller boards. I've designed so many different versions of just ideas and stuff, which has been great. Like I've learned stacks, and I've become really proficient at board design and stuff, and pushing JLC PCB beyond their capabilities to the point of me going grey really fast and getting really pissed with them, which is a whole different discussion. Maybe I'll do it today, maybe I won't, but let's just say my last 3 or 4 weeks with JLC PCB have been the worst I've ever had. But anyway, yeah, I fall into the trap of just designing microcontroller boards for the sake of it, and the world's got too many microcontroller boards. You in Aussie land? Yeah, but no, it feels like it's more. Like I can see my OBS window, and then I can see the live stream control panel in the background, and it's pretty massive delay. It's actually putting me off seeing it. It's okay, I do have designed a lot of different microcontroller boards too. Problem is they made most of them. Right, but like even in the ESP32 space, like I feel like I'm at a point now where I want to bring something different to the table, other than just another form factor. Restart it. What are we restarting? Have I tried turning it off and on again? I'm not restarting anything. Stop it, folks. So I've got a brand new design of this board that I finished the other day. It's longer. it's still as narrow. Now let me switch cameras. Dun, dun, dun. How close can I get? So I mean, these are the same. They're the same, but they're different. This is got a few changes on it. We need to go a bit brighter. There we go. But my new design is longer by quite a lot, actually, which means that there's more I/O broken out. I've moved the JTAG stuff from the bottom onto the sides, plus a bit more. But I made it longer because I needed to squeeze more onto the board. What was that? You want GSM GPS based ESP32? Nah, because they're done. Like, people are doing stuff like that. That's a very niche product. But the problem with that is, like, you're always better off using a module for something like that. Like, because there's so many options for GSM and GPS that why would you want to get stuck with what someone decides to put on the board? Yeah, you want to, yeah. Again, all those things have been done. Is this one of my ultra secrets? Well, it is an ultra secret because it's along the lines, it's another variation of this new idea that I've got. So I've now got this new idea as an S2 board and as a regular, like a Pico D4, so a regular ESP32 board. Obviously two different form factors, and you'll understand why in time, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to use anything other than the Pico D4 when doing ESP32 stuff, even though there's slightly less I/O on them than a regular, like a room, a Rover. So the DW0D or D0WD, whatever the code name is for the regular ESP32 chip that you find inside a Rover. But it doesn't make a lot of sense to use anything except for the D4. But yeah, like it's a tough thing for me right now to really work out what to build. So I'm getting my final revision Nano made at the moment. JLC PCB had to restart making it twice now. So I've got 10 boards in production at JLC PCB, and that order has been in production now for 2.5 weeks. And yeah, it's an absolute nightmare. Like I'm absolutely stuck on projects right now again, like it was over the New Year's break. Hey, did you cool things? In prior streams you showed tubes in letter-sized padded envelopes. Tubes in letter-sized costs. Oh, hang on, how you tubes in letters? Okay, right, yeah. How you save postage? It says Lettermax. Oh, they don't get sent by Australia Post. Australia Post is very expensive for sending international. I don't use that. I use Sendle. So Sendle has a fixed fee for international, and they're so what you're talking about, the 20 millimeters. That's if you're sending something as a document with Australia Post. The second it doesn't fit as a document, so this is the Australia Post letter gauge board. So if it fits in here, it's a document. If it doesn't fit in there, the price goes from something like, so if it's international, let's say it's anywhere between like $4 to $6, yeah, up to $20 to $30, depending on where it's going to, right? And it's not a fixed price. None of my stuff fits in here because the second you put an envelope, and I use padded envelopes, and you put a product in there and it needs any bubble wrap, it won't fit inside there. So I use Sendle to send on my stuff. Now, Sendle is a pain because Sendle, they use DHL Express. And DHL Express is basically like a postal service. It's not, sorry, not Express, DHL e-commerce. Whoops, yeah. And so DHL e-commerce it's like a postal service. It's like really slow. And almost everything I send goes via Germany for no reason other than that's the way their logistics works. The good news is it's tracked, kind of. Not very well, but it's tracked. And their deal is anything that fits in an A4 envelope up to 250 grams is one price. Anything that's up to 500 grams is another price. And it's fixed no matter where I'm sending it around the world. The downside is it's not fast. Like it's actually slower than Australia Post. Like if I was sending post. So, yeah. But sending a document's different. But like technically, I shouldn't say legally, technically you can't send anything other than a document in a document thing, right? So, like when you send something as a document, it doesn't get treated like a package. Like they assume it's paper inside and it can't be damaged, and they really don't look after them. If you've got electronics in there, you know, anything that's fragile, it's very bad. Yeah, DHL is German, owned by the German Mail Service, which you think would be efficient if they're German, but no. That's bad stereotype, I know. Hello, Sean, CHYT. Is there a voltage supervisor on your ESP32 boards, and has anyone ever felt as needed explicitly to control power on reset? No, there's no voltage supervisor, and they're not needed. Not for a development board. No, I don't think so. For me, DHL Express is fantastic. Anything that I get sent to me, if I can do DHL Express, I will. I mean, unless it doesn't justify the cost. So I don't know. I know a lot of people have issues with DHL Express. I know in Germany, DHL Express is not great. But in Australia, Sendall, as in Sendall. Yeah, I think it's, I don't know if it's Sendall. It's pronounced Sendall, but yeah, I don't know. And look, so Sendall's in Australia, and I think they've just opened in America. I don't know where else yet. Hey, Dustin. They're still a very young. Hello, Ellen Stoops. Australia Post takes longer to send packages across Melbourne than DigiKey. Yeah, Australia Post has become quite slow. Yeah, like I think all postage services are slow, and Australia Post is expensive, I gotta say. Like yeah, you could do in a BT LoRaWAN Sigvox based board. They already exist. All those things exist, Shaq. I don't play in that space. I don't know anything about that, and like what for? Like all those things are solved. as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there's about 30 different LoRa WAN boards out there, like at least 5 different ESP32 LoRa WAN boards out there, and there's modules that you can connect. Hey, Rat Madness, and hello to anyone that I've not said hello to. Like, I'm really not sure what I'd bring to the table for anything like that. So I'm trying to solve something different. I mentioned in the MakerCast that what I'm trying to solve is not that it's not been done. It's just not been. I haven't seen it solved exactly how I'm wanting to solve it. Hey, Mike, and I could be wrong. I just have, like, it might have been done, but I haven't seen it anyway. And I'm not saying that my idea is unique or groundbreaking or anything, but I've just not seen it as a product or as an overall solution. So that's what I'm playing with at the moment anyway. But it's making me want to stop working on just general microcontroller boards now, because again, I don't, we've got enough of them. I really think we've got enough. That said though, I can show you something that I did. So this is a secret project that I've mentioned ages ago that I don't even know if I'm going to finish now. As in, I don't know, I've got one revision built, or I've got boards for them, but I changed the design. I will show you this because, like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. What is it? Come on, tell. No, I'm not giving it away. Sorry, Shaq. It's going to stay until I'm ready to announce it. It's going to stay quiet, because if it is something for me that is, if it is something that works and has a marketplace, I desperately need it to be something that I can be a first mover on. Because yeah, from a longevity point of view for me, for what I'm doing, for being a full-time maker, I need something to take off. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go get a job, and this is all gonna fizzle. And that's just, yeah, being honest. So I'm just loading a board. Let me just switch screens, and I'll show you this. If I can work out, there we go. So this is what I will show you. I did this ages ago, and it's just been sitting. I've been waiting for silicon, right? So I made a Pro S2 board, but feather. So this is a feather S2. Hey, Michael. So, I mean, this is, you know, I've been holding on to this thing. I have a revision 1 silicon, but I put something on the revision 1 that I changed my mind on. And so this is revision 2, but no hints, Shaq, sorry. You'll find out about it when I'm ready to announce and showcase. Like I mentioned on the MakerCast what I'm targeting, and I'm quite happy to mention that. Like all my work at the moment I'm doing for these boards, it's all about reducing deep sleep current. It's all about making batteries last longer. Hey Marius. Normal chat don't work. What? Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. Most of our projects are secret. We all don't broadcast them on YouTube. Well, I normally do. Like, and I'm quite happy to show the evolution of stuff. But for this for this stuff that I'm working on at the moment, why can't you chat? I don't understand why your chat's not working. That sucks. Sorry to hear. God, what was I just saying? I just got distracted. Oh. I tell you what's funny is that my chat in my OBS window that I can see is updating faster than my chat on my desktop is. That's really weird. Reset your memory. Kill the power, no standby. Current. Yeah, that's the idea. Embedded Hobbyist. But it's how to do it. Anyway. I don't know what a BQ25155 is. So anyway, here's my feather board. I might send this to not the trick board's different. I mentioned that on MakerCast. Trick board is a different approach to what I'm trying to do. It's not very. It's very different use case, and yeah, I want something a little bit more versatile and a little bit yeah, it's different. It's different. As I said, it's not necessarily groundbreaking, but it's I've yet to see anything kind of the way I've done it, so I'm curious to see if it's going to work or not. That's because you have a fruity computer. What? Going to use RTC to switch the power on when required. RTC has its own battery. Yep. Hello, Sven. Anyway, so look, this feather, it's an S2, ESP32 S2, feather form factor. It's got a quick connector on it, like what Adafruit are doing with most of theirs. I've also got an ambient light sensor on it, because I think they're pretty cool. And yeah, look, this is ready to go. I might just send this to Adafruit and see what they think. I'm pretty sure they're going to be working on something for the ESP32 S2, because it'll be able to run CircuitPython. It'll be the first ESP32 that can run CircuitPython. Turbo Sion. Hey Andy Mouse. Hey James. Is it Adafruit or SparkFun that does the quick? So Adafruit, SparkFun call it quick and Adafruit call it stemmer. It's the same connector. So yeah. I can't fit stemmer here unless I make it really small. Yes, I know what fruity computer meant, but I'm not sure what reference that was for though. So anyway, yeah, I thought I'd show you that. Wow, so I've chatted for a while. So what do we want to do on the stream today? What's CircuitPython? CircuitPython is a fork of MicroPython that Adafruit are developing. It's got at this point in time, it has a much broader board compatibility range and much better library and driver support, because they're basically Adafruit are making sure that all of their boards, any micro that they've got that has built-in USB, that's a requirement, can run CircuitPython is getting ported to, and all of the feather wings and modules and hats and stuff that Adafruit make and sell, they've got libraries for, but they're actively paying people to work on CircuitPython to make it really broad. So where MicroPython is pretty much, it's all been done by volunteers, and so it's going a little bit slower, and but it also works on ESP32 and 8266, which CircuitPython doesn't, and it's got much stronger STM32 support. No, Grove is different, Mike. Grove and Quick are not the same. They're different connectors. They're different pitch. Yeah, very different. Same concept. I think MicroPython crew should not do hardware. What? I don't understand what that means. I'm not pulling out the inventory software, Shaq. Just chill, buddy. Just chill. Hey, David. Why am I going to measure the deep sleep current of a tiny Pico? Why should they not make and sell Pi boards? Well, firstly, that's Damien does that. That's MicroPython crew don't do it. Damien invented MicroPython, but that's Damien's business. That's how he affords to pay to work on MicroPython. Like, why should he not do hardware? I don't understand. Oh, you're here in chat too. That's awesome. Yeah, the S2 is going to be about $1.10-ish on US on DigiKey. So the whole point of the S2 is to make a cheap microcontroller. That's why they cut stuff out. That's why there's no Bluetooth. That's why it's single core. The S2 is supposed to be a cheap microcontroller, which they've seemed to achieve, right? You know, it's pretty much a third of the price of the current ESP32 chips. Oh no, Johnny killed a Pro Micro. Yeah, I don't understand what the deal is with Damien making Pi boards. Like, that's how he supports himself. So, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Like, if he wasn't making that hardware, then all of the STM32 stuff in MicroPython wouldn't be anywhere near as advanced as what it is. And I mean, that's the biggest platform on MicroPython. And interestingly, that's the biggest platform in the commercial space. If you look at all of the embedded hardware that gets used out there in projects, like medical projects, defense, all sorts of whatever stuff, STM32 is right up there as the go-to chip. So it makes sense that that's where he's targeting for MicroPython. Wish I had a good answer, but I think if they would give more support of most popular chips. But that's right, STM32 is the most popular chip. Maybe not in the hobbyist space, but that's not their market. Like, and that's yeah. Like, at the end of the day, you know, again, no one gets paid to work on MicroPython. Well, technically that's not true, but it's not like the CircuitPython endeavor. Like, at CircuitPython, there's a lot of volunteers that work on it, but Adafruit are actively paying a core development team, and they've got, you know, stacks of people working on drivers and stuff. Like, that's different. They're investing a stack of time and money on CircuitPython, and good on them. Like, you know, and they're targeting a different market. They're targeting the education space, and they're targeting beginners. Like I said on MakerCast, it's not that CircuitPython is only for beginners, but that's very much where Adafruit, like, you know, target their stuff. Not beginners is the wrong word, but you know, they're about learning and education and getting people into the ecosystem and providing everything they need to learn how to play with hardware and microcontrollers, right? But you don't find any of their products in commercial space, and generally, and people don't take a microcontroller board and use it in a commercial space. They design their own custom hardware at that level. And STM32, like ARM, is massive in that space, and STM32 is by far leading the way. MicroPython would be a killer on AWS Lambda. Well, MicroPython's available on lots of platforms. You can get MicroPython for Windows, Linux, Mac. You can get, you know, MicroPython's got a lot of platform spread. So you'd be like surprised where MicroPython is that you wouldn't even know about. Like, Adafruit control CircuitPython, and that they control where it's going on to. But anyone can fork MicroPython and get it working on anything. Like, it's MicroPython on RISC-V, MicroPython on the Propeller 2, MicroPython on all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, there are MicroPython on RISC-V cores for FPGAs, right? Like, you can run a MicroPython basically operating system in an FPGA intentionally, like, as a, you know, under RISC-V. Like, it's a very different space. Adafruit is all about the value add and education market, and they do it amazing well. Hey Ian, they do a fantastic job, and they're doing single-handedly, they're doing more to promote hardware and microcontrollers and learning than I think anyone in the industry, by far. You know, they've really doubled down on what they're good at. which is their learning guides. Their I mean, their hardware's great, no doubt, but their their learning and their driver support and everything, like it's really, they're doing a fantastic job, for sure. The low memory usage would make MicroPython 10 times cheaper to run on Lambda compared to P3. I don't know anything about that space, so I really can't say. I don't know. Hey Trojan Ray, have you port free RTOS STM32? If so, I haven't ported FreeRTOS or anything. I don't use FreeRTOS directly, so I can't answer that one. Sorry. Yeah. We still haven't answered the question. Is there anything you guys want me to do today? Gotta go to work early. Bye, Helmet. Catch you later. I'm happy to just chat today, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like I just don't want to start another project. And I get that people don't want to see live coding, which is totally fine. Coding's pretty much the only thing I can really... Well, that's not true. I mean, I've got some boards to assemble. I've got some of my Laser X segment boards to build. So I'm happy to do that while we chat, if you want. I have to do these by hand. I can't pick and place them because I don't have a stencil, and I just can't be bothered. Well, I can't make a stencil for them because I've got no Mylar left, so I could have made a stencil for the pick and place. So I can do that. I don't have a mail bag. I don't have any mail, except I bought myself a new chair. This is hilarious. Sorry, I just got stuff everywhere. Oh, also, I bought myself a current ranger, but that's for another day. Woohoo! Does everyone know what a current ranger is? It's like a U-Current Gold by Davy Jones. It measures current down to nanoamps. Yay! So I bought myself a new chair. Oh, can anyone see that? And I haven't even opened it. It's only been 2 weeks. Yeah, sorry. Whew. That was, yeah, I got a new chair because my current chair that I sit on now, which I've had for a really long time, it was my favourite chair I ever bought, but it's got no padding left. And again, I'm getting a sore bum. No, it was an Officeworks chair. IKEA chairs in here aren't that great, and they're not overly cheap. And I wanted a comfy chair, live chair build, and I'm not building the chair. Hey, Jet Tech. Hey, Chris. Hi to anyone that I haven't said hi to. Current chair. No, I'm not assembling the chair. I'm not assembling the chair, but I am quite happy to build some boards. Let's paste up some boards. We can do that. We can paste some boards. Yay! Just gotta clear some space. I only need to build 4. Well, I could build more. I don't even know if I've got enough LEDs left. I'm out of LEDs. I had to buy some more. Yeah, so I've only got a single stencil because this was done obviously in 2018 before I had a pick and place machine. Someone just asked me something about a pick and place machine. What did you ask? Who asked about a pick and place? Do it self up, or do you need to tell where every component needs to go first and then it repeats that? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, the orifices in the stencil. No, the pick and place, you need to set it up. You do it from Eagle. There's an export plugin from Eagle. Nanoamps, what are you trying to do? Unexpected Maker. Fly the Apollo back from the moon. Look, hey, as low as you can go, the better. Like, I needed microamps, but this does down to nano, which is, I guess, even better. And so far, I've been able to, well, let's just say, nanoamps are achievable with my new projects. So that's pretty cool. Everyone's saying build the chair. I'm not building a chair on a stream. That is just crazy. Mandalorian chair. Not quite Mandalorian. I have an idea for a project you could build that would fill a large hole in the market if you fancy it. I know you don't want to take on new projects though. Do you, Mr. Watts? Really? Okay, let's have a chat about that offline if you really do. Or you got laughing, crying at the end of that, so maybe you just shit staring me. I don't know. I look forward to seeing that Ranger, as I have based a design of my own on Davy Jones' circuit. Okay. Yeah, so what's nice about the current Ranger, well, firstly, you can't get the U-current golds anywhere. I think there was one place in the UK, and it was going to cost me like $80 to ship it. And the U-current isn't, like I would have gone the gold over the U-current, but what's great about the current Ranger is it's got, which is really important for me, it's got auto switching, it's got a microcontroller inside it. It does, catch you later, Shaq, it does auto switching between the milliamps, microamps, and nanoamps. And so for something like an ESP32, if you don't have auto switching and it changes range, when you manually change it, it brownouts the board and it restarts, right? Which is not great. So this one doesn't do that, which is why I went for this one. And I bought it a little while ago and it sat here. I had to assemble some of it. The Ohm Ranger. the lone Ohm Ranger. Anyway. So I need to separate these, which is always fun. So I had a guy buy 16 of these off me yesterday, which I spent all day yesterday assembling these, and I got the order done and packed, except I now have no stock left, even though it says I have stock in Tindy. So I just want to build some of these and just get them, get them out. Or get them. I don't like the stress of having to assemble stuff quickly when orders come through. You think yours has a market? Do you have any S2 chip samples, by the way, fully working ones with yours? Hey Sylvian, no, I mentioned that earlier, that I'm on the second round of getting samples. I didn't get in the first round. I have some coming to me from the second round. So no, not yet. Still waiting on S2 with USB support. I do know that the USB support does work, which is exciting. I know quite a lot about it, but I'm not allowed to tell. As I mentioned earlier, gentleman's agreement I've done. I totally brain farted on that question about the stencil and the picking. No worries. Use big pliers to snap those thin strips off. Yeah, I've got pliers. I'm using pliers. Sometimes if they're loose enough, I'll use my fingers, my thumb, but it gets a bit sore. I think I'm just going to build 4. We'll just do 4 today. That's going to take me long enough. I only need 4 right now. I need to move my chat so I can see it, because I can't see it where I am right now. What are we talking about? Danish pastries? What? Yum. Oh yeah, the Danish, the pastry stuff at Costco is great. Really nice. Those cinnamon rolls they make. How good are they? They are good. Okay, I'm gonna paste up 4 boards and then I'll assemble them. Got my spatula. So I just need to close some stuff so I can see my screen. Real buffer? Who's buffering? Oh, real butter. Oh God, thought that said buffer. Yeah, I love real butter. Yum. Yum. My gut doesn't. Hey Gary. It's been a long time. I think since we've seen you. Hate it when I look up when I'm trying to put paste on my spatula and I get it everywhere. And I just stuck my finger in it. Sion's going to spatulate. Do we have Paul here? The count? We've got no one counting. Brian suggested that I do a video about, oh my God, you know what I just did? I didn't put a board in. Oh my god. There we go. It's just going to be one of those days. Look what I just did. I didn't put a board in. Because I'm an idiot. I got distracted. Okay, well. That's how much paste gets pushed through. Pretty cool, huh? Oh boy, what a mess. It's like smearing dog poo everywhere. Did everyone see that? Yep. It's going to be immortalized. Someone make a meme. Someone make a meme. That was funny. Oh boy. You watch the mess I've just made everywhere. Okay. That was ridiculous. I've never done that before. Never done that before. Shall we try that again? Is that a null device? Hello, Bornak. Oh, I wish I knew how to pronounce your name. I wish I knew. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Nice pasting. That's my best pasting ever. I thought it felt a bit weird when I went over. Oh my gosh. That was ridiculous. I can't even remember what I was saying at the time. What was I saying? Someone want to remind me? Please someone remind me what I was saying as I squeegeed that last one and made an absolute mess. Hello Sam. Easter by Smith, Easter B. I don't know. Oh, that's right. So Brian said I should right, Brian said I should do a video about stenciling techniques. And you know what? After what I just did then, I don't think I'm qualified. Oh my god. That's got to be one of the funniest things I've done in a really long time. What's that link, Chris? I can't get to it right now. B. Sam Easterby Smith. Hello, Sam. Mike IPA. Time to put that board upside down. Why am I putting the board upside down? Do you want me to put it upside down to make another mess? No, I don't want to do that. I'd like to actually make these. So you know what's weird? Like I'm so used to working at such fine pitch. Like these are all 0805s and obviously 5050 RGB LEDs. Like I can I can scrape over this like 10 times. Like the apertures are so big. Like it's so different to when you're pasting really fine pitch stuff, where if you go over it twice, you feel the edges, like it pushes out the sides or whatever. Very different experience, very forgiving. How do you get your stencils so small? I keep ending up with huge ones. You got to click custom size, and then not only do you have to type in the size, but you have to click the radio button. So JLC PCB allow you to choose to click custom size, which opens up that little window, and then you can type the size in and click OK without selecting the radio button. Oops. And if you don't select the radio button, it doesn't matter what you type, it goes back to full size again. You have to actually choose the radio button. Like you'd think that if you type something in there, it would automatically choose that radio button, but it doesn't. That tripped me up quite a few times early on. Yes. I definitely need to find a new PCB supplier though for my higher end boards and for my production boards. Just JLC PCB are just not cutting it anymore, unfortunately. Their quality is just nowhere near good enough. For normal boards, absolutely they're fine. For prototyping, they're fine. For, you know, it's not a 2, 4, 6 layer thing. The layers are irrelevant. It's as soon as you get even remotely close to their capabilities that they advertise, which are all bogus, by the way, completely bogus. Dropped you a message. Won't be a world-breaking idea. That's okay. I don't want to break the world. Thanks, David. I'll have a look and I'll chat with you about it shortly. Yeah, just I need a more reliable PCB house that can actually deliver on the capabilities that they advertise, because JLC PCB cannot. And I've got it in writing from them now. Like, it's yeah. Okay, so I need a lot of RGB LEDs. I need a lot. I will zoom in and just, I'll work on one at a time. I just need to move some of these out the way. And I will get closer so you can see what I'm doing. But I need to work out where to put it. And I need to, wow, really don't have a lot of space. I'm just going to move this just for a moment so I can pull a whole lot of LEDs out. So these are the last of my whites. I got white and black. I'm out of black now. I went through a whole reel making my Neo 7 segments. That's what I should say. Where are they failing? They're failing at anything that is even remotely close to the capabilities that they say they can do. Is where they're failing, right? Like their V-scoring, their ability to accurately V-score is non-existent. Like their registration for V-scoring is just the industry worst. Like, it really is. It's terrible. Like, I've got some boards here right now. I got a whole batch of Tiny Pico's panels that I can't use because their V-scoring chopped into the header pins. Like, it's terrible. Like, I had a massive fight with them over it. But, you know, they say that they can do 3.5mm track spacing for 4-layer boards. Hey ho, Dad. They can't. And I've got it in writing from them. So I submitted a whole bunch of boards using 3.5mm track spacing, and they knocked them all back, and I had to go and redesign them all back to 4mm track spacing and redo them, and resubmit them, which I lost a week basically. Yeah, this is JLC PCB. They give you a credit. Well, no, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. They give you a credit for the bad workmanship. So on my Tiny Pico boards, they refused to give me. They gave me half back. They're actually now being much harder at giving full refunds now. Like they're actually refusing to give full refunds, which is really frustrating. And I'm stuck for now with my Tiny Pico boards. I have to use JLC PCB because I need them all the same. But yeah, look, it's just, okay, that's a lot of LEDs. I need to switch my glasses. I'm not going to be able to see the chat. I used to use PCB way before I used JLC PCB. No, I've got some worse scoring than that now, Alan. Like I've seriously got some bad stuff. Their silk screening is terrible, like smudgy silk screen or missing silk screen. I mean, I've had that a lot in the past with them. The thing is though, look, straight up, like PCB way are 3 times the price of JLC PCB, right? For the board, at the high end level of the boards. What temperature should you preheat the Neos to drive out the water? I've been baking my Neo. These are all been pre-baked. They were all baked yesterday, and I did as I said, a whole batch of these yesterday, and they worked great. These don't need to be rebaked again because they're already done. So, yeah, I need my different tweezers. Where are my ones? Yep. So for like 2-layer boards or really simple stuff, PCB way are fairly competitive on price. I need to bring my camera closer, but I'm going to hit my head against the microphone. Maybe I can take it off. I'm not using it. 1 second. Sorry, folks. I'm not using this microphone. Microphone? Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, now I can actually see what I'm doing. But as soon as like my Tiny Pico boards they're using the like 0.2mm drill size, So what happens with PCB ways? You go online, you need to go to their advanced settings, and once you start turning on the advanced stuff, like okay, I want 0.2 mil drill holes, I want 0.4 mil track spacing and stuff like that, they start adding a surcharge on. And by the time I make the same specs as what JLC PCB give me, the price is 2.5 times or 3 times. And then the shipping for me is also 30% more expensive. I can't see the chat. Sorry. Right, with the baking of the oven, sorry, just quickly, yeah, I didn't bake these high. The data sheet says you bake them up to 75 degrees. I only baked these at about 50 for about an hour. It's not quite the spec that the data sheets say, but the data, I don't know what these are. These are unbranded WS2812Bs. They're not SK6812s. So, not knowing what they are, I didn't want to push them too far. And I'd already baked my black ones the day before the same way, and they were fine. So, and I don't even know if these need baking. I mean, I don't really have a moisture problem in my office, like a humidity problem in my office. I don't bake any of my filament, and that is always fine. I've never really had a problem with filament, but I thought I'd bake them just in case. Okay, one more. I hope I got all these the right way around. It's very hard to see the corners on the white ones from where I'm sitting. They all look like they're facing the right way. They do. I'll put the LEDs on first, and then I'll go and put the caps and everything else on. How can PCB companies be so cheap at crap at alignment of different processes? So if you need, at me, so I can see there's a question for me, because I can't see the chat with these glasses on. These are my close working glasses. If I don't wear these glasses, I can't see what I'm doing because I'm too far away from the board right now because the camera's in the way. I keep moving it towards me. Even this is at the extreme of what these glasses can do. But I don't need a microscope. I'm not going to use the microscope for this. The water we're talking about, so what happens with these RGB LEDs over time is if they're not put in a sealed bag with silica gel or something, the moisture gets inside this bauble here, and then if there's any moisture in there when you reflow it, it kind of pops and it destroys the insides of the LED. So Dave Darko did a tweet about that yesterday or the day before, I don't know, in different time zones, excuse me, where he assembled a whole bunch of stuff. He didn't know about having to pre-bake them, and he used some fairly old LEDs, and most of them just don't work. And if one fails, the rest after that chain tend to fail because they propagate. So one LED then propagates to the next. So if one of them fails, everything after it is dead. So that's with the 2812s, the 2812s and the SK6812s, whatever they are. There is a 2813 model that doesn't do that. Even if it fails, it still propagates through, but they're about 30% more expensive. So yeah, I didn't buy those. I bought more. I think I bought SK6812s, another reel of 1,000. But I only bought those yesterday because they only ran out yesterday, and so they're going to take a while to get here, unfortunately. Okay, what have I missed anything in the chat? Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat right now. So that's what the water stuff was. Hey Rob, how are they on the... Oh, so let's talk about their black PCBs. So they changed their black again. Does everyone remember the drama of them changing the black on me last year with my tiny picos? And after 3 times they said, that's it, we're sticking with those, we're not changing the black anymore. Yep, well they've changed it again. So like my Whopper boards, for instance, they arrived in 2 different blacks. for some reason. Like mid-production on my Whopper boards, they changed their black. It's now more matte again and slightly grayer. I don't know whether they just ran out of solder mask and they had to go back to an old batch or something. I don't know. I queried them on it and they've ignored me. So yeah, look, you know, so the thing I've discovered about JLC PCB, I'm looking, like, they're very clear that they say that they're a PCB prototyping service. Like, I think they don't consider themselves a place you go to make production boards. And that's why they're okay with their inability to be consistent. I think their expectation is if you need consistency, you go to a more of a professional PCB house. That's what I believe, because they cannot deliver on their capabilities. Like if you go to their maximum that they say they can do, they can't do it. They definitely can't do it consistently, and most of the time they can't do it at all, and that's just the truth. And it's been a bad lesson for me to learn. But as I said, look, I don't have a choice with my tiny picos. Like I'd have to add $1. Like I'd have to put my tiny picos up $1 each to be able, if I got my boards from PCBWay. And they're the next cheapest. Seed are the next cheapest. Yeah. As soon as as I said, as soon as I go and say I need 0.2 mil drill holes and I need this track width and I need blah 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 and blah blah blah, all of a sudden it's I'm triple the price. So been a bit AWOL recently. No worries, mate, all good. They changed the blue. Did they change the blue as well? Hey Yuri, sorry if anyone's popped in that I've missed saying hi, sorry. They're out. Well, they don't publicly state it, but I think that's their stance. I'll be pissed if my prototype came with some of the defects seen. Well, sure, but you get what you pay for, right? You know, so like I pay a third of what the next tier is, and I suffer the consequences. And most of the time for me, even if I'm out of pocket, the issue for me is not what I'm out of pocket. Like if I got to pay for a set of boards and they refuse to replace them for free and I have to pay for them again, it's still cheaper for me to do that than go PCBWay. The issue for me is I lose 2 weeks in the process. Why the wonky LEDs? Because that is the direction that the segments sit. It was just a design choice I made. So these are a 14 segment, or I guess 15 with the little decimal point. They're 14 segment displays, so they have diagonals on here. And so I just made the LEDs diagonal. Because I can. I actually like assembling boards. I find it quite therapeutic. Some people like hand soldering. I like assembling. I don't like assembling when I have to rush, like when I've got orders. That's can be a bit painful, but some more LEDs. Can you get out, please? Trying to get them out without getting the cover tape onto. I don't know how many I need. Why am I not doing this on the P&P? I explained that before. These, I do not have a stencil. So these come panelized 2-up, but I don't have a 2-up stencil for it. So I can't pick and place a single board like this. It won't fit in the pick and place machine. So because these were made a year and a half ago. These are boards that were delivered to me back in 2018. And so yeah, I don't have any mylar left over, so I can't make a custom stencil. So where's the boards? Where do I put them? So even though they come on a panel, I can't stencil them on a panel. So therefore I have to hand assemble them. Which, and again, I don't mind. Like it's fine. As I said, I did 16 of them yesterday, which was exciting. So for those that missed it, I released some more Neo 7 segment displays. I was out of stock for a really long time because I've got all my new displays, and I figured that people would want my new displays, but the truth is people still buy more of my Neo 7 segment displays, and so I built 40 of them a couple of days ago. That's why I went through a reel and a bit of there's one more LED, that's annoying. A reel and a bit of the black faced RGB LEDs, and I've almost sold out. I've only got 7 or 9, maybe 9 left. So that's really exciting that I sold so many of them. Look at ordering whole panels of PCBs, should be less excess charges. So I said again, look at ordering whole panels. Oh right, no, JLC PCB don't do whole panels. So that's the problem. So I mean, technically you can use their service where you can put as many designs as you want on a panel, but they charge extra for that, and they charge extra, and then by the time you do all that, and then I wouldn't rely on what, and I can't. Like how do I mix 2-layer and 4-layer boards, or some of my 4-layer boards are impedance matched and some of them aren't. Like I couldn't do a whole panel. I'd have to make all of my boards 4-layer impedance matched just to be able to do a panel. So that doesn't make sense for me either. Sure, they're a prototype board fab, but they set down what they can. Exactly, that's my argument to them, is you state this is your capabilities, so therefore you should be able to deliver on that. And they say, when you push us to our capabilities, then we, you're going to get mixed results, is what they tell me. Which is, I can't tell you how many levels of frustrating that is. I really can't. Like, it's just absolute, sorry, but it's just absolute bullshit. It really is. It's just the most frustrating thing ever. Like, then don't show that's your capability. Like, if you think you can sometimes do 3.5 mil track spacing, but 4 you can always do, then make 4 your minimum capabilities. Like, don't waste my time. And what's worse now is they have this new system where they just automatically reject your board, but you can replace it. But you don't get an email that your board was rejected. So unless you look, you don't know. Sometimes they might email you directly and say, hey, by the way, there's a problem with this board. But in my last lot of orders, they only did that once out of 4 boards they rejected. And here's the thing, this is the kicker, you ready? 2 of the boards they rejected were because of my routing spacing, and it's the same routing spacing that I've used on every, they were Tiny Pico boards, on every Tiny Pico panel they've ever made for me. Right? And they've made them all exactly the same. They've made over 400 panels of Tiny Picos for me. 400 panels they've made. And they rejected twice my Tiny Pico designs for exactly the same stuff that they've made before. And once they reject it, I have to go and re-upload new Gerbers and go through that same process again, and I lose like 2 or 3 days every time. And the reason they reject it is because they just use, they've got so many engineers that check the boards, and every engineer's got different standards. And an engineer looks at it and goes, no, we can't do that. And they reject it immediately without contacting me and speaking to me. If they would have spoken to me first before they rejected it, I would have said, hey, you just made me a batch last week. I've got them right here. You can do it. And every board you've made me, over 400 panels, you've done this. Please go check the previous Gerbers, see what you did. And they would have looked at it and gone, oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, we can do that. But no, they just reject it and don't tell me. They don't email me. And 2 days later, I look online and I see that it's been rejected, and they have an argument. And then I have to spend 2 days arguing with them, and then I have to resubmit my files again and hope that the engineer doesn't reject it again. Nice warm. What? Have you made any of those with RGBW LEDs? No, I've not used RGBW, just mainly because my libraries for them assume that they're just RGB. So I haven't, no. Okay, caps. Yeah, I mean RGBW, or maybe the neutral white ones would be nice. I don't know, but I'm also just using up LEDs that I've already got, so I need a lot of caps now. A lot of caps. Yeah, look, it's really frustrating. Yeah, so the N white is neutral white, so NW, and then WW is warm white. What is C white? Oh, is that cool white? Is C white cool white? I saw those online the other day when I ordered my other LEDs. I need to stay to just RGB ones. Like I don't, in this case I don't have a choice to make sure they're all compatible. Like I can't ship, like the guy that bought 16 of me, I can't ship a mix of RGB and RGBW. I don't know how many caps I need. I'm gonna need more than that. Okay. Let's get these done and in the oven. I still haven't put my toaster ovens back together again. That's not straight. Sorry, I just need to see something. Stream going okay? I hope the stream is going okay. 06 degrees. Is that a misprint, Matt? What? Oh, no, it's upside down. That's 90 degrees. The mat's upside down. And I've got too much stuff on it at the moment to, to take it all off and flip it around. Dun, dun, dun. A lot of caps. Absolutely do not need a cap per LED. My newer boards, I don't do this. As I said, these were designed a really long time ago, back when caps were cheaper. Caps are so expensive now. Like I don't know if anyone else has been buying a lot of components recently, but all the prices are going up. Everything is going up. And it's a little bit frustrating. Oh, I need my 3535s. That's OCD if you have an issue with wonky cap while looking at the LEDs. Where's there a wonky cap? They'll obviously straighten themselves. Reflow will help. Let me just get some 3535s. Dun, dun, dun. One, two, three, four. These are all pre-cut from back when I had other kits. Yeah, oil's coming down in price, which is interesting, but electronic components, yeah. Like my CP2104s have gone up almost 30%. And I've only got about 1,000 left, which sounds like a lot, but it ain't. It's not. I shouldn't say ain't. Ain't's not a word. So did everyone... How crazy boy... Here. Hello. So BitLooney's had a pretty crazy thing happen. So he was just traveling. He almost got stuck in Italy. He was in Italy for a holiday, and they got out. He and his partner got out just before the lockdown. And so when they got back to Germany, his partner had to go for work to Cyprus. And her hotel's been locked down. She's stuck in the hotel for the next 2 weeks. That is just crazy. There's just all these lockdowns that's happening all over Europe. Well, maybe not just Europe. And yeah, like I was chatting with some folks this morning. I think Dave Darko mentioned, or was it Brian mentioned, that the coronavirus is already like it's 10 times the spread globally has been 10 times what SARS was, and it's not slowing down right now. It's pretty crazy. And the fact that anyone that's travelled has to self-quarantine. Typhoid Looney, company I work for, share price dropped 53% yesterday due to virus and oil price fighting. Wow, that's massive. Yeah, we had the biggest single drop on our stock exchange in Australia in I don't know, a decade or something, or longer, bigger, or something. I don't know. I missed the exact details, but yeah, there's been some pretty crazy. Like, I don't understand it though. Like, it's all reactive, but like it's reactive behavior. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to take precautions, but I don't understand why I understand why the stock market gets affected. Like, sorry, I'm not an imbecile, but I still don't understand it. Like, why it's necessary. Like, why all this panic and craziness sets in. Like, panic and craziness just makes it worse for everyone, not better. Like, you would have thought that people would have learnt that lesson. Hey, Matteo, either one of those. It's going to sound bad, but how much of this corona issue is media overhype? Look, there's a lot of media misrepresentation or fear mongering. Absolutely, that's been discussed quite a lot. Like, there's, yeah. I don't think. I'm generalizing, right? I don't think the media does a very good job of, like, there's too much it's not fear-mongering, it's sensationalizing. That's the word I'm looking for, right? There's definitely too much of that, for sure. And I think that there are, I'm going to be, this might sound bad, there are just too many, I'll use the term uneducated. It's the wrong term. I don't know what the right term is. I don't want to say stupid people. There's just too many. Okay, let's use gullible people out there that believe everything they read or see or hear, and think it's gospel, right? They think it's fact, and then they talk about it like it's fact to other people like that, and all of a sudden people are running and buying thousands of rolls of toilet paper from the supermarket, right? Like, it's yeah. Like, I don't mean to be rude. I don't know how else to call it, but yeah, I think that the media over sensationalize things, and then the gullible population take it on and just turn it into fact. Yeah, I don't know how else to put it. There's no cure, yet people have been told 2 to 3 weeks, and you can heal on your own. Understand those who are unwell totally. Look, I don't know a lot about. Yeah, I think there's stuff that you can medically they can do preventative wise, but once you've got it, and you need to just wait it out, and you need to put yourself in isolation while you do it. And I think that's the thing. Like, people are going to panic. Like, okay, what's if I get stuck at home for 2 weeks in isolation or whatever? I don't know, but wow, I got exactly the right number of caps out. That's not even on the screen. Why didn't people tell me? I got exactly the right number of caps out. How crazy is that? Okay, so I think these are all done. Let's just check them all. I need all of your eagle eyes. I know that some of the caps aren't straight. Some of the LEDs, they'll all move into the right place. 0805 caps are much more forgiving than 0402, let me tell you that much. Okay. They're all on? They are. I'm going to go turn my oven on. Oh, hey Peter. It's starting to be as bad as doctors having to choose who to cure. 40s man with corona or the young with a broken leg. Do the Neo 7 segments come in a pair? No, they don't come in a pair. I got asked that question the other day because there's a picture of two of them on the page, so people think this person thought that they come in twos, but there's also a picture of 4 and 8 on there. They don't come in 4 or 8. Yeah, 0805 is massive for me now. Okay, let me just put the oven on. Look at that. How many times has that been reflowed? And it's still stuck perfectly. Guys, do wear masks as soon as you know of virus in your country. I think every country's got the virus now. Like, there's no country that doesn't. Well, no major destination. I don't know. So I'm putting them on my board like this so I can get them all in the oven at the same time. And hopefully I will not drop this. The old magic tape, the metal silver magic tape that everyone gave me so much grief for. Okay, oven time. Okay, that is in the oven. Yay! I still can't believe I did that with the paste. That was hilarious. Antarctica is not a country. So, God, I can't believe I did that with the stencil. That was ridiculous. Hilarious. Yeah, I like working 0603. I'm moving all my new designs to 0603, trying to phase out 0805. Wherever I can, because I just don't have any room on my pick and place machine. What printer I use? I have the Prusa Mark III. It's a Mark III. What's it? The S, whatever the. I've upgraded it to the latest version. I bought it as a 3, and then it's now a 3S. Very happy with it. So yeah. Happy enough that I'd buy another one, except whenever I need another one, when I've got too much to print, I regret not having a second, but then when my printer sits idle for weeks at a time, I'm glad that I haven't spent money on another printer. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm just trying to tidy up a bit before I make even more of a mess. Any suggestions sub 500? Get an Ender. An Ender 3, I think. It's a Reflow Master Pro, one of the delayed products. Yeah, my new boards are sitting at JLC PCB. The Reflow Master Pro board was made a week and a half ago, and it's just sitting there. By the way, I changed my design again, and my patrons know that I changed my design, but I've changed it since then again. I'll show you now what I've done. Anyway, but they're waiting on my Nano. So my Nano is now, and my Tiny Pico remake for the 3rd time are the 2 boards that are holding up my whole order. And as I said, it's been, I think, what today's Wednesday. So tomorrow will be 2 weeks that I've been waiting, and still got 2 or 3 days to go of production before they ship them. It's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. So let me just bring up my Reflow Master Pro and I'll show you what I did. Any thoughts on the TiVo Tornado? I don't know honestly anything about other printers. Like I only, other than my Chinese FlashForge clone I had originally, I went straight to the i3 and I've never looked back. And I probably won't ever get anything other than a Prusa myself. I really like them. I know that other printers have come a really long way now. But yeah, there's stacks of other people here that have got lots of other printers and they'll all be able to suggest stuff. Yeah, I've never used any others, so I can't really say, but like a lot of people are really happy with the Ender, I think. So dun, dun, dun. Okay, switch views. Hello, switch views. Here we go. I need to move my chat back out of the way so I don't need to. I do all my stuff in PLA and PETG. I don't use ABS at all. Just because it's smelly and you need to enclose your printer pretty much. Yeah, the CR10 is also great. CR10, CR10S. I mean, there are lots of great printers now, for sure. So what I've done with my final Reflow Master Pro board is so as I said, my Patreons have seen some stuff. Okay, Chris has posted another image. What has Chris posted? I think in a new window. Did you put a PCB under your stencil? Oh my god, you made a meme. Chris, that is awesome. That is awesome. Yay! Cool. That is really cool. That's awesome. Yeah, as I said, so my patrons know that I made some changes and I went back to the transistors. I'm not putting MOSFETs on them. I reneged on that. I've got a different solution for that now. Oh, is that the second one? I didn't see that first link. Is that what that first one was? Sorry, my hands were full at the time. And what I've done now is I've moved the buzzer off this screw terminal, and that's 5 volts out now. And I've put a header on the side here. So the header sits on the back. That's why it's next to the USB, which is on the front. And so I'm breaking out 3.3 volts ground, I2C, because they're not connected on purpose. So they're broken out if you want to connect anything to it. And the buzzer actually comes out here now. It doesn't say buzzer on the top, but it says buzzer on the bottom. Because I had no space. So you got the buzzer here, plus and minus. So the buzzer will be on a header, and I'm just using locking headers for that. So there'll be a 90-degree header. I have to wonder how much of Sion's workspace is occupied with old and failed PCBs. I don't know, like not as much as you might think. I don't know. So the fan output now is 5 volt fan only, or drive an SSR, or a relay, or a Reflow Master Pro fan controller. What is a Reflow Master Pro fan controller, you might ask? Well, that is another board that I'm going to offer for those that want to control their fans via a MOSFET. Oh, hey Brian. I generally don't chuck them. I use them for stencils. I use all my old PCBs to format. Yeah, I got lots of stencils on the shelf. So this is my my next design. Hopefully my final design for my Reflow Master Pro. It's using the new Nano footprint. I'm just waiting for my Nano. It's holding things up. Oh no, another reflow master upgrade. No, you don't have to upgrade. Nothing wrong with the current reflow master. So, okay, so what's the reflow master fan controller? The oven just finished, by the way, but I'll get to that in a second. So, I'm going to preempt this by saying, please don't tell me you can buy these for $1.50 on Ali and eBay. I know you can. You don't have to tell me. Okay, or you can buy similar to this. I know you can. Fine. So I made a what's called a reflow master. Well, yes. So reflow master fan controller, and it's basically an opto-isolated MOSFET switch that you can connect. Maybe it's clear on the bottom. Right. So you can put power in either by screw terminals or a barrel jack, anywhere up to 24 volts. And you can, but buy them on Ali. Good luck getting them anytime soon. Yeah, well, but I wouldn't want to buy them on Ali. I'll tell you why in a second. And then you've got your load on the way out, so 1 amp maximum for your load. And then you've got your input coming from your microcontroller. So the idea with this is if you want to run fans through a MOSFET, if you want to be able to run high voltage, you don't want to use a relay, then you'll be able to order these with your Reflow Master Pro. They'll be a little bit more expensive than the ones on Ali and eBay. I don't care. The point is there is no way I would ever ship or recommend a $1.50 AliExpress MOSFET switch untested by me to use with the Reflow Master Pro. I can't do it. Catch you, Jerry. Thanks for joining. There's just no way I would ever endorse doing that, regardless of whether they work or not, whether they're good or not. So my solution for this is if you don't want to run a relay and you want to control a high voltage fan, then you'll be able to buy 1 or 2 of these with your Reflow Master Pro. And that was a compromise I came up with, because if I stuck a MOSFET, let me just go back to here. The issue I had, I actually put the MOSFETs on and then I took them off again. So if I was to stick a MOSFET over here on these 2 fans, I would remove the ability to run a relay, and I'd remove the ability to be able to run to connect a 5 volt fan directly to this board, directly to it. Because the only way that to really allow someone, without making spaghetti wire, to connect a high voltage fan via a MOSFET to the board is to also have a high voltage input coming in. Right? There's no way I could stick a backfeed blocking diode on a circuit if the power wasn't coming into the board directly. So it was just, by putting the FETs on here, it locked people into only being able to use that system. And that doesn't work for me because I don't need that. I don't want to use that here. I'm happy to use my 5 volt fans for my own use here. So, and it also meant that you were locked to 1 voltage for both of the fans. And not everyone's going to use a fan on these. I know that Capo Steve is stuck an actuator on his. Actually, I can show you that. I'll show you that in a moment. Remind me to show you what he's done. So my compromise was to go back to the transistor, and this way you can do any combination you want to do. So that's what I came up with. Let me get these boards and we'll test them. I think that'd be a good idea. Probably want them to cool down first. Okay, except I can't get to my heatsink because it's got something on it. Okay, that's We're going to be too close probably, but that's fine. Oh, this is hot. Okay. It's on a heatsink. I know it's out of focus just for the moment. It's a bit better. Okay. What did I miss? Okay, I don't know if I missed anything or not. So while that's cooling down, one, two. So I now have, let's move that out of the way while it's cooling. And now it's going to be out of focus again. That's okay. So, I mean, for those that saw my video, I've now got my Neo 7 segment displays on Tindy, back on Tindy. Although I'm super low again, so I've just ordered more PCBs because I'm pretty much out. As I said, I think I've got 7 or 9 left. And I've got my X7 segment, which are my light pipe ones, so the sideways LEDs on each side, and they also come with a diffuser on the front if you want to use it. And I've got my, is this going to be cool down enough? Yeah, my 14 segment displays. Is that even in focus? Yes, it is now. So they're the 3 different displays I've got on Tindy. And what's crazy is I still sell more of these than these or these. Which is just, I don't know. I find that kind of bizarre. I've only got 1 or 3 left now. What? What happened? What? Oh, I don't have my mail open. Okay. Awesome. Jeff Darachek, thanks. Okay, so I've now got only right. Well, I've ordered some more PCBs, but they're stuck. They're stuck with my order, so you know I'm not going to have them until next week. So I'm going to be out again. I can't believe it. I mean, it's great. I'm not complaining. So these are all pick and placed, which is really nice. Like that was big time saver. These are pick and placed, which is also good. Well, these are pick and placed except for the 3535 and the resistor, just because it doesn't make any sense to me to rip something off the pick and place to do that. Yeah, look, it might be the number of LEDs. I don't know. I mean, these take way less power, like way less, current than these do, because there's, half as many LEDs. There's only 2 LEDs per segment instead of 4. Actually, so I can probably, I don't know what it's going to look like. I got to test these anyway, but I can light them all up and have a look. Let's test these first. So I think are they cool enough? Yeah, they're cool enough. Okay, so cross your fingers. Hope we don't have any moisture issues. Oops, yay. So that works. That's 1 successful board. 2 successful boards. 3. Yay, 1 more. 4. So, for those that don't remember, it's already assembled. Okay, so these are my, as I said, my 14 or my X7 segments, they're called. And they come with a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff. So they've got a front and a back plate. They sit on the front, and they've got these segments that lock in like this, right? I don't know if you all remember. And so, for instance, if I now put that, I'm not going to be able to stick the, what do you call it or not though? Not easily. Yeah, no, okay. I'll do it without the front. But these sit on there like that, and they light up. But the front, obviously the black blocks them all out, so they all work individually. So, and then the little ones in the middle. So these are my 14 segment displays. These are a lot of work. So I spent 4 hours in front of my laser cutter yesterday, cutting all these face plates, cutting all of these segments, and then I had to spray paint all of them. Do you remember I spray paint them? Like a crazy project. Like it really, it's beyond ridiculous how much goes in there, how much effort these displays are, especially for the price I'm selling them at. But I did it because I wanted to just use up the last of the PCBs. Once these PCBs are gone, I'm not going to be remaking these because they're just too much work. Like, you know, I'm not scared of hard work, but I probably, like, at the price I sell these for now, these are $9.90 each, right? For the price I sell these now, I lose at least, I'd say, 15 bucks on each one of these that I sell. It just makes no sense. Is that decimal point LED smaller than the others? Yes, they're all 3535 for the decimal point because of the size. So, yeah, let's light this one up. Hope it still works. Yes, it does. See, I love that. I think that looks really nice. That's my nicest one, I think, personally, for a 7 segment. Like, these look great, don't get me wrong. I mean, these do look nice. But I don't know, I feel like that's a much more novel display. Personally. Yeah. But that's my worst selling. Which I just don't quite understand. But anyway. Whatever. And of course, yeah, as I said with the... do I have a diffuser anywhere? Not really. But yeah, these come with a diffuser as well. These ones don't. Garden of the Gods is probably the most stunning place I've been. I've got a video coming out on Friday about the Whoppers. I suggest everyone watches it, but a great display as it is. Wait, what? And the decimal point, both sides on the lower. Say it again. Version 3, get the 7 segment angle. No, I deliberately didn't want to do the 7 segment angle. Yeah, that's been discussed quite a few times. It makes the PCB much bigger, and yeah, I'm not sure why you'd want to put the decimal point on both sides. That's pretty uncommon. Like, it's usually on the right hand side. I don't think I've ever seen one that's got decimal point on both sides. Yeah, look, I deliberately did them straight. Okay, so these all work, which is cool. So I need to kit them up. I just kitted one of them up, but yeah. Excellent. They work. Yeah, definitely. You definitely want to watch my video on Friday about my Whopper kits and have a laugh. You need to have a laugh. It's definitely worth laughing at. Maybe not as funny as the stencil thing I did today, but still pretty funny. Is it the Austria of the US? I don't even know what that conversation is about. Hey, Renee. Ah, Capo Steve. Hey. Steve, are you okay if I show people your actuator video that you did? I would like to show... I think it's pretty cool. But I wanted to ask you first. Okay, cool. That's a yes, sure. Except I've lost my window. Where's it gone? Okay. So this was done by Capo Steve with a Reflow Master. It's going to have some sound as well. Is everyone ready? Here we go. How cool is that? So he used the fan controller on the regular Reflow Master to open up the door with a linear actuator. It's pretty cool, pretty sweet. It's noisy, but that's without the case on. Oh, the other thing I should mention is my Reflow Master Pro fan controller will work on a regular Reflow Master. That's another reason why I did it. So right now the regular Reflow Master requires you to just directly connect a fan. It doesn't even have 5 volts out to run a relay. But the fan controller will connect to it because it's just an opto-isolated. It just needs a signal and ground, and which is what that output is. And so you'll be able to use high voltage or anything with my controller on a regular Reflow Master as well. Yeah, it's pretty crazy sound. So it's pretty good considering how short the throw is on the actuator. We were talking about it when he was working on it, and I didn't think that throw was going to be enough, but it's clearly enough. So can you go in reverse direction? That's the only thing you can't do that, can you, with this? You can only go in one direction. So do you have to remove power to it, Steve, to be able to then close it manually? I would assume that if it's powered, it'd be locked right now. Like not locked, it'd be held in place. It's on a relay, so when the fan turns off, it shuts. Right, so therefore you can then close the door because it's not powered. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. So you manually close the door, but it automatically opens the door. Yeah, that's really cool. I really like it. So they're 3D printed though, aren't they? Like you do your own metalwork from memory. That looks like it might be metal, but that looks like it's 3D printed. We'll have open and close buttons. But how do you do the reverse? How do you close it? Like, is there 3 wires? I don't know. I've never used a linear actuator. So is there 3 wires? You send a different signal? Because you wouldn't be able to do that with the Reflow Master directly, because that's only going to give you the one signal. Let me share the link. You'll have to share it with me. Actually, no, I'll make you a mod so you can share it. Here we go. So it goes to show you, like, some very innovative people. Just 2 wires, just reverse the polarity to go the opposite way. Nice roses tin, Kebby roses. That's a really old tin as well, isn't it? Anyway, I thought that was really cool. I wanted to share that. You sent me that a little while ago. That's a lip fire chamber. A lip fire chamber. Oh, lipo fire chamber. Oh, right. The Cadbury's tin, the metal one. I don't know. I much prefer BitLooney's solution of just throwing them in the rubbish bin. Crazy. Wow, Peter and Chris have got a lovely chat going on. Okay, let's have a look at this in a new window. Okay, so this is the actuator that Steve's using. Like 20 pounds! The actuators I've been looking at are hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of dollars. H-bridge would make actuator go in either direction. Right, but then you need to be able to talk to the H-bridge, right? And you can't do that from the fan output of the reflow master. It's just a 5 volt and ground, right? I mean, the reflow master breaks out I2C and a couple of other pins. So technically you could use that I/O instead, but you just can't use, like, you'd have to code your own stuff and you'd have to use extra I/O. So Mike, enjoy work, unfortunately. Explosion containment pie dish. As long as there's no pie in there. Yes, that's why I was just using the relay. I still don't understand how you're changing the polarity. How are you doing that with the relay? That'd be interesting. Yeah, this is very cheap. It comes in a tube. So is this the 150 to 1? Pretty cool. So is that, what's that made out of? This back stuff? Yes, double pole, double throw. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So I'm assuming that's just plastic ABS. This back section here. Like, I'd be worried about that melting. Yeah. I wonder what temperature that could go up to. Molded ABS. And what temperature those wires, like the insulation on the wires, could go up to. That would be my biggest worry. Is how it's connected. Like, obviously you can use metal standoffs, but you've still got the metal screw that's basically connected to the oven wall, which is going to transfer stacks of heat into the plastic. I have fitted it with insulating washers to help with the heat, and the wires will be wrapped. Okay. It's still a fair bit of heat being transferred from the oven wall. But like to see, yeah, be interesting to see how long it lasts. I mean, put it this way, I had PETG printed thing in my oven, right, for hundreds of reflows, and it melted a bit. Hey Andrew, it melted a bit, but you know what? It survived enough, so this might be fine. It's very cool, very, very cool. Are electrical door openers physical? Normal doors, I mean actuators. I don't know. I guess it really depends on the type of mechanism that opens the doors. Like, which doors? Like, I assume they're an actuator of some, linear actuator of some type. How many reflows have you done in it so far? And have you taken the case off to look, or is the case permanently off right now? Because you're probably going to lose quite a bit of heat if you do that. About 4, okay. So have you pulled the case off to have a look at how it's doing? If there's any meltages? Okay. Well, I did some building. We did some chatting. That's 2 things. I was okay about the no coding, by the way. Fiberglass sheet material can do wonders for thermal insulation. Fiberglass sheet material. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different options for screws and standoffs, for sure. Plan to use 3 powerful server fans to cool the right side compartment of my oven. 3 powerful server fans. Those server fans won't be able to handle the heat. They're not designed to go up to that hot. Doesn't matter how powerful they are. It's what they're made out of. You'll need metal casted fans if they're going to be inside the oven, or a convection fan. Okay. Wonder if you can wrap it, wrap all the plastic in Kapton. Maybe. That'd be interesting. Still, it's very cool. Really well done. Okay, so it's been 2 hours, and I actually got something done, which is nice. Made a fool of myself with the stencil. That was fun. Anything else we want to chat about? Other than my secret projects? 5mm thick fiberglass fabric that looks like it's formed from fiberglass pulp. Okay. So what do? Just use it as a barrier? Build the chair. No, I'm not going to build the chair yet. Not yet. Let's talk about ESD. No, it doesn't exist. No, it does exist. It does. Someone brought up ESD when on the chat about the RGB LEDs. Dave Darko got quite upset. People weren't watching or weren't reading the thread properly, and they were telling him something to do with his data line or his voltage or his caps or blah 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 blah. When the issue wasn't any of those things, it was moisture in the LEDs. So build the chair later and do a separate video of it. Not doing a video of building a chair. Sorry, not going to happen. Not going to happen. What else? I don't think I've got no other mail to show. I've got an order from DigiKey coming today, I think, and an order from LCSC coming tomorrow, but they're just all components. Yeah, I've got Viton that I used as a barrier like that. I mean, fiberglass panels interesting. I didn't know about that, but yeah. Like I'm using Viton as separators between like my fans and the oven wall. So this stuff. So that's the 50mm fan cutout. So this is Viton, and it doesn't let heat through. Basically, it's a heat retardant. So it's just a rubber. Those of you remember, I tried laser cutting this, and it was terrible. But you can just cut it with scissors and a knife. I'm using plastic fans for the exhaust because I actually bought some metal cast ones, and when they arrived, they weren't metal cast. I had a bit of a disagreement with RS Components about that. Anyway, but insulating them with multiple layers of Viton. And I know that the fans are going to get damaged over time, but I'm using, the difference between buying a metal cast fan and a plastic fan is massive difference in price, like 7 to 8 times the price for a metal cast fan. So for me, I insulate them so they're not, the casing isn't touching at all, and there's heat retardant between them. And if over time the motors get destroyed because of the heat going through the motor, which is the bad part, then I just replace the fan. I can go through, even if I went through 2 fans a year, it's still way cheaper than buying a metal cast fan. Going back to your capacitors on the 14 segment, you said you don't use 1 per LED anymore. How many do you use now? So like my Neo 7 segment, which also didn't use 1 per LED either. Like these, I've only got 9. So I've got 28 LEDs on here and only 9 caps. Right? It just really depends on the noise and the power going through. It's about filtering the power, and depending on where you're placing them in the chain, so long as you've got enough on there. My X7 segments, I think I'm only using, how many am I using? I'm using less. I'm using 4 caps. 4 caps to 14 segments. Sorry, 14 LEDs. 4 caps for 14 LEDs. Here I'm using 9 caps for 29 LEDs. So, look, at the end of the day, if you've got really noisy power coming in, you should solve your power. Like, you shouldn't rely on the caps on here. Like, if you're seeing flickering or power issues on your displays, you should be filtering your power coming in anyway. So wouldn't your most selling segment look even better with a diffuser? Sure, but no one's ever asked for one, and I don't know. I have to laser cut them and put the price back up, I guess. We have lots of convection ovens sold where toasters are available here. If you had a capacitive servo set up to the door, that might work a treat. Yeah, look, a convection oven would work really well for reflowing. Kind of. No, it would. Like a good convection oven. The problem is the convection ovens I've seen here, they're just too big. Like, I've yet to find a small convection oven. What Capo Steve, PTFE. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Capo Steve is using these 2mm PTFE sheets for heat retarding. They're pretty cool. Also cheap. Everything's cheap in the UK. A server that automatically opens the door on my reflow oven when complete. Yeah, that's cool. What type of servo are you using? My doors are too heavy. Like I'd need a really high torque servo with some interesting pulley stuff to be able to get my door open to get the leverage, I think. Well, yeah, my plan was actually never to, I wasn't going to do diffusers for these. Like the displays I use, I don't have diffusers on them. But because of the way the light spills, which is very different to these, right? So these have light coming out towards you, where these have light going sideways. So the diffuser helps with these in a different way to these ones. A diffuser here will just reduce the brightness, but you could also kind of do that just with power, where a diffuser here changes the characteristics of the light, if that makes sense. 3D printing a 220mm large thing and simplify 3D, thought it was a good idea to print the skirt outside the heat plate. Oops. It's a high torque Metal Gear servo, yeah. I don't have any of those here, so I didn't... Yeah, like I'm happy just with the fan solution for me. Maker Mocure on Instagram made a soldering oven with a floodlight. Look, as long as you can get a hot enough heat, and it's not directional, like it's spread evenly, you can do some pretty interesting, lots of different ways to reflow. You just got to remember that, you know, pretty much everything's out of spec to what the solder paste manufacturers state, right? But if it reflows okay, it's fine. And if it's for, you know, your own use or for short run or hobbyist stuff, that's also okay. It's when you're doing production stuff that you need 100% reliable, repeatable reflowing. I have a 12 kilogram Metal Gear servo live around. 12 kilogram? Is that powerful enough? Yeah, I think so. I don't know how much my door weighs, but it's quite a lot. It requires quite a lot of force to get that initial, and I think it could be a bit of like suction, like a bit of air. But once it's like that first 5 degrees, then it becomes easier to open. So 12 kilograms is at 1 centimeter radius from the center. So it's some interesting pulleys, or not pulleys, what are they called? Things you could, yeah, maybe, I don't know. The mechanics of getting a servo like that working is out of my knowledge space, I think. So I mentioned on MakerCast the other day, I've got 27 projects on the go right now. And my mind is frizzling a bit. I need to just get some finished and done. Well, nothing's ever really finished, but currently printing a 180 by 60 millimeter light pipe grid diffuser arrangement for the Matrix C clock. You get 3D printing those? Wow, that can take a long time, right? Cams. What's cams? Is that what they're called, Alan? The levery things? Levers. No, are they cams? I don't know. 3D print some cam. I'll do a write-up on my build and send you the link if you can check it out. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool. Yeah. And if you want, I can show it on my next stream if you get it to me, and if I remember, that'd be good. Yeah, 3D printing stuff, like even these diffusers take ages to print. They're obviously 100% infill. And some of them tend to fail. Yeah, look, I don't know. I tend to make really hard or manually intensive projects, which are really annoying. Just like my video on Friday, I'm hoping it comes out on Friday, for my Whopper is my tester for my LEDs. I don't want to ship any kits out without testing every single set of LED segments, right? Because I don't want to, as I mentioned in the video, shipping stuff is expensive, especially from Australia, internationally, and I don't want to have to replace any of these, so I want them all tested first before they go out. So I built a tester, and boy, yeah, you just gotta watch the video. Let's just say it doesn't end well. I'll just say that, but I'm not going to give anything away. Isn't a cam like the thing driving wires in a weaving machine? Did I have a CCCA? I'm not saying anything, Chris. You'll just have to watch the video. I'm not going to give anything away. It's a pretty funny video. Just doesn't end well. Hey Tom, sit back, have a coffee, and plan your strategy on how to get 27 project finished. When you finish the coffee, throw the strategy out and go back to chaos. Yeah, it's all chaos. And they're all just at different stages, and most of them are product based, so they're going to be ongoing. It's just ridiculous. Like my plan was to finish up and do less. But yeah, it's just, I can't seem to help myself. It's crazy. I keep meaning to do something like that for kitchen cupboards to the cutlery holder. What? What's mad out there though? No pasta or rice in the shops, and I need more rice. You could always eat toilet paper. Yeah, Tom, I agree. Like all plans go out the window. But look, I am pushing everything forward, and the stuff I'm most excited about is stuck in China, which is really frustrating. An automatic coffee machine. The issue is an automatic coffee machine is how do I get the coffee from my kitchen to here? How do I get my cup filled? My cup's here. I desperately need another coffee. Toilet paper is high in insoluble fibre. Yeah. Okay, folks, look, I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's been great. I actually had a lot of fun. I was more fun than I thought I'd have on the stream. And less heckling than I imagined I was going to get. Build a tease made. A what? What's a tease made? Tesco had no warnings in store. I almost went closer than 1 meter to the... Make a coffee, make a robot. I don't think I'm good at making any robots. I'm not going to make any robots. I'd love to make robots, but I can't make robots. That's out of my skill set. That's one day. Google tease made. Okay, I'll Google tease made. I'm not going to do it live just in case. Cam increasing radius so that as you rotate the distance from the cam increases. The center increases. Right, yeah, like you do a cam where the center's offset or it's got that more of a pointy, shapy thing, so it pushes out. Yeah, like I know what a cam is, but I was thinking more servos to, you do a servo, you do like a lever to a lever to a lever. So when you pull something here a small amount, it does a bigger movement over here. But I don't know what they're called. The levery things is what I was thinking of. Yeah, cams are more circular, offsetty things, right? I think. Not gears, but yeah. I don't know. Especially making for the workshop. Look, I'd love to have a coffee machine inside my office, but I'll drink too much coffee. The fact that I have to go walk and make one reduces the amount of coffee I drink, which is good. I think that's very good. For me, anyway. Cellulose can be broken down into glucose. You can make food from toilet paper with the right enzymes. Might be a video on that. Yeah, go for it, James. You can do it and you can eat it. And if you eat it live I'm not doing it. Okay, time to go. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being part of the stream. It was great. And I'm glad I didn't bore you all with coding. I don't need the tea, but the maid would be nice. A maid would be nice. Can't afford a maid though, so yeah. Yeah, I've got a pod machine as well. I drink less but better coffee, but I still like lots of strong coffee. Yeah, I like Pile Stuff's got his own little beer fridge. I need a little... I mean, the fridge is easy. Little fridges. I've got a fridge just in the garage next to me, but... So I can put milk in there. That's not a problem. I don't have running water here, though. I need running water. Anyway. Okay. Seriously going to go this time. Thank you all. It's been a blast. I'll catch you all next week. Don't forget the video Friday. I'll make sure I get it out on Friday. Have a good laugh. Okay. Catch you later. Bye.